We're the huge movie fanatics here to give our final of the Back to the Future
until they
reviews.
do 4.
Which I have something to say about that towards the end. But anyway, Back to the Future Part 3. This is a request from the Cookie Monster 70, and we appreciate the requests. We'll keep doing them.
Feel free, anyone else and you, to request more, and if we've seen them, we'll review them.
So Back to the Future Part 3 seems to be the most polarizing installment of the franchise.
What's polarizing mean?
Like, people either love it or hate it. A lot of people don't like the whole Western vibe of the movie. I grew up watching Westerns and stuff. I dig it. That's something that really appealed to me, and I think this is a substantially better movie than Back to the Future Part 2. The movie is fun and exciting all the way through. It ended on the note of Doc's death in the previous movie, and then he finds out that no, he's just back in time.
Oh, I just remembered really quickly, briefly. I'll keep your hold that thought. That the end of Part 2 was so great when he just disappeared and he got, just moments later, got the letter from 1885. Yeah. Oh, that was great.
That was great, and that's actually the exact same scene that opens this movie. And it's strange that we did that for both the previous movie. We talked about the very end of
the beginning of the.
Anyway, so this movie.
Can't think of it during the movie that we're reviewing.
That's really because it's part of the next.
So what are we gonna? What review are we going to talk about the end of this one on?
Yeah,
no.
So this one, I just thought it had the fun and excitement of the first movie back in a completely different setting, which I appreciated. I'm glad we didn't go back to 1955 again. You can do it twice, 3 times of pushing it. And it was neat seeing some character development with Doc and Mary Steenburgen.
Mary Steenburgen, who doesn't age.
No, she
at
doesn't.
all.
It's weird. I really like her, and she's fantastic in it. She adds a nice little touch. The one thing I really didn't like is Marty goes back and meets the McFlys, and it's his mom. Which, that bothers me, because she wasn't necessarily McFly. She would have been, I can't remember what her maiden name was in Back to the Future, but she shouldn't have been part of that family. It should have been Crispin Glover, or just Michael J. Fox, an older version of him, alone, without, her. And he should have met, or he could have stayed with his mother's side of the family that aren't the McFlys, and that's where he's like, oh, Mom, and...
Yeah, but they wanted to probably do that.
Yeah.
Were you here back in the Old West or whatever?
Yeah.
What's she say?
I can't remember.
Damn it. Because I remember the second one is on the 37th floor or whatever. I can't remember.
Yeah. But...
on the McFly farm.
Yeah.
McFly farm.
Yeah.
But they just wanted to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. That just bugs me.
That's true.
But the movie is just fun, and I love the whole train ending. It reminded me of the old westerns and the old serials that were westerns from back in the 20s and 30s and stuff like that. And that was totally what Zemeckis was going for, and he nailed it. I enjoyed every second of it. I give it 3.5. Fantastic movie.
It's gonna seem like I'm just copying this.
Let's pass it off.
Yeah, I remember because me and my dad watched this over what I call the last winter, which is sad to say the last winter, but that's what I always call it because that's what it was. We did a lot of, we'd watch stuff even before the... Anyway, so we watched these movies, and and so did I, we always had this idea in our heads that the third one was the worst one. Mm-hmm. But then after we both saw it, we're both like, oh, that's not so bad. And I agree with the 3.5. I think that it is better than the second one because you're doing something which the second one probably should have done, which is something completely different. We're finally doing that in 3 with the Old West, which of course they set up knowing that they're going to do it in Part 2 with the Old West is one of my favorite eras of time. That's Doc Brown talking.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to go back to the whatever. And I love the beginning with the drive-in. You know? And the Indians, isn't that great? Yeah. Those Indians won't be there. And as soon as he transports the reel, that's genius. And in the whole, just the wrapping your head around the whole thing of you have this idea if this person goes back in time, they're gone. No, the car has been stored for 100 years. It's just crazy. And actually, it's not 100 years in 1955, is it? Oh yeah, no.
It's,
Oh, it's 1885, so
yeah,
it's like
it is 100 years from when he was.
from where he's originally
Yeah.
from, yeah. And it's just like in the tires. So the DeLorean's been under there stored for whatever, I can't.
Yeah, I can't do math.
70 years
70
from
years,
55.
Yeah.
So, so and the tires are all gone, and it's just like when I was a kid, I didn't quite understand. I gotta admit, I didn't quite understand that, like how they just go, because like I say, when you have this idea of they just disappear and they're gone, but I didn't quite understand how they got to DeLorean from the. But I understand it now.
I will say, when I was a kid too, I wasn't blown away. Like on VHS, I owned 1 and 2. I never owned the third one because I saw it once and I was like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like it. Now that I'm an adult, I watch 1 and 3, and I'll watch 2 just because it's in between. But I love watching 1 and 3. 2 is the one where I cook in the middle.
Oh, you cook your head spaghetti,
Yeah.
mashed. What's that gross food that I can't believe any macaroni and cheese? What did you say?
macaroni and
Ramen?
cheese.
Ramen noodles?
Yeah.
Good for you. All right. So yeah, this is like very much like you say, the one when I think of it, or used to think of it, I used to be like the one I would least watch. But now it's, for me, it's better than 2. So there are so many great things that they did. Obviously, the 3 movies they did, the chase in the town, which was, the manure thing got a little old when you got to the 3rd one, I think.
I'm fine with repeating jokes within a single movie, but when you repeat jokes within a franchise, it gets old. It's like Star Wars. You just kind of expect somebody to say, I have a bad feeling about this, but it's not funny anymore. Like when you hear it in
It's
A New
also-
Hope or Empire Strikes
Yeah.
Back. Once Return of the Jedi, you're just like, oh god, he said it.
You mean in episode 3? It's like
Yeah,
6th
By the-
time.
wait till JJ does
7.
it.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that'd be a good idea. For
That'd be a
the-
great way to end the trailer, like Star Wars Episode 7, The Sith Rise Again. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
But anyway, Back to the Future.
What are we talking? Oh, we're reviewing Back to the Future, Part 3. So yeah, the introduction of Mary. Introduction of Mary Steenburgen is just phenomenal, and just what's that word to describe like a sweet woman, just adorable in that part, and Christopher Lloyd gets to actually have a whatever in the movie, and
The train is cool.
the train
Just
is.
throw that out there.
What are you talking about? Future Train or Old
The
Train?
Future Train.
Oh, you like the Future
I liked
Train?
it. I mean, it was cool. I always liked that at the end of the movie.
But so I don't really. Again, I don't. 3.5 stars. I think. Did I say that? I think
Yeah.
I did. And I think it works great on so many levels. Dean Cundey, the director of photography for the trilogy, is actually a photographer, which is a pretty cool idea. And Clint Eastwood, that joke is pretty
That
great.
was amazing. Yeah, I liked
What
that.
kind of name is that? We run for fun in the future. Run for fun? What the hell kind of fun is that? That's really cool.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Well, 2 things. The early 90s actually did some really interesting things with westerns again that I kind of liked.
Like
You got
Unforgiven.
this, you got Unforgiven. Quick and the Dead is one that I think is quite underrated. I mean, it's a complete ripoff of like the Man with No Name trilogy with Sharon Stone as the Man with No Name instead. But visually it's so fun and interesting, and then westerns just kind of died out after that, and it's kind of sad. I mean, there's a couple good ones in the 2000s, but not many. So it was that's something I appreciated. And then lastly, I was going to say it was Back to the Future 4. If you have a Nintendo Wii or probably PlayStation
there's like
2
a
or
game
3,
that's-
there's Back to the Future, the game, which is the 4th installment. It takes place 6 months after Back to the Future 3, but they get the voice actors to come
that's
back.
pretty much gonna be the.
It's
fourth
written
movie.
by Bob Gale, who wrote these
Shit.
screenplays, and that's what the 4th movie is. And it
Fourth
takes
game.
you, that's the
yeah.
game, but that's what the 4th movie is. And honestly, it's mostly movie. Like there's a lot of cutscenes and stuff. But Michael J. Fox is back, and so that one's cool. It takes you back to the Prohibition era,
When the hell did that come out then?
2011, I think.
Oh.
Takes you back to the Prohibition era, and you get to see a completely different setting, and it's like 1935 or something like that, and that was fun. I really appreciated that. The game is great if you have a Wii, or I mean I keep saying Wii because I have it. I think it's available on PlayStation 2 and 3, and then Xbox 360 as well, and the PC. Play the game. It is fantastic. It's really fun. It has the fantastic sense of humor. It has a nice little in-jokes all the way through for both from the franchise and also other things. Crispin Glover didn't come back, but the guy who does the voice for him sounds close enough that you're like, I believe it.
Expect a lawsuit.
Yeah, poor guy. But great game. After seeing that, I was like, I wish they'd made it into like a CG movie even or something like
Weren't
that.
they even talking about?
Zemeckis was talking about that because
That would've
he
been
forgot
so-
about live action actors for a while.
He did,
there.
didn't he?
But I would have been fine with it. Based on this game, like seeing what the movie could have been, I would have been like completely satisfied because it feels Back to the Future. So Back to the Future, the game is essentially Back to the Future 4. You want to know what happens next? Play the game. It's incredible. I give that game 4 stars. It's one of the best games I've ever played.
This is our first
Video game review?
Game review on a huge review. Okay. Anyway, I've kind of said what I.
Yep.
Just like the first, well, like all three of them, there's so many little details that you want to remember,
Yeah.
but you can't. And
Yeah.
it's that's cool, whatever. Just to save time.
Making me want to go home and watch the movies again, though. So
All right. Well, cool.
That's
That's
all.
maybe part 2. You're gonna do 1 and then just 3.
one, cook, watch the
Oh,
last
that's
30
right,
minutes
ramen
of 2,
noodles.
and then I don't cook ramen noodles for an hour, by the way.
All
But
right.
anyway,
Are you done?
yeah, we're done.
All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the future or the past or something. It's really cool because on this channel you can go back to the past and watch
Yeah.
us in 2011.
This is review Jaws, which we talked about in our previous review.
We talked about what?
Jaws in our previous review, a little bit because Jaws 24. Or whatever.
Oh, right. All right. Thanks for watching.